Hello lovelies, welcome to a new video. So today I'm going to be answering the many questions that you guys have been bombarding me with over on Instagram and over here about my weight loss surgery that I will be having in just a few weeks. And so I just thought I'd make a YouTube video and answer all of those questions for you and just tell you a little bit about my journey so far and just give you a bit of a backstory on why and how I became to have weight loss surgery with the NHS. So if you would like to listen and hear more, then stay tuned. So hello, welcome to a new video. I'll just quickly introduce myself if you haven't been over on my channel before. Hi, my name is Jodie. Over on this channel, I literally do everything to do with plus size fashion. I used to be a plus size model and now I just love creating YouTube videos, just showing you lovely plus size fashion and just showing you what it looks like on a real plus size body. I'm also all about spreading self-love and self-awareness and just loving yourself regardless of your shape, your size, your disability, your skin color. Like, I just truly believe that we should really find an inner peace and love with ourselves and work on ourselves every day to feel the best that we can feel, no matter what situation or whatever body or whatever, wherever we are at our stage in life. I just believe that it is so important to work on yourself and just have that kind of peace within your soul. So I love to spread just happiness and self-awareness and self-love over here. I'm also a mum with two sons, so I like to do a little bit of lifestyle vlogging, so you'll see that here too. And I love skincare, hair care, makeup, a bit of everything. So if that sounds like a channel you would love to watch and be part of, I would love it if you would become part of my YouTube family. All you need to do is click the red subscribe button below this video. And don't forget, there's a notification button. If you tap on that, it will notify you every time I've uploaded a new video. I always say tap on that notification button because I do suffer with chronic illness, so I don't have like a set schedule when I put videos out. So tapping on that notification button will just alert you when I've put a new video up and you'll never miss one. And if you like this video at the end, please do go ahead and push on that like button. It really helps me know that you guys are enjoying the content that I create. And if you think that this video would help someone else, go ahead and give it a share. I would absolutely love that. So thank you. So I decided to turn the camera on. I've just got out of the shower. I haven't done any skincare. My face is literally drying up as we speak. So I'm literally going to do my skincare and talk to you about, give you a bit of a backstory as to how and why I am having weight loss surgery with the NHS, and just let you know kind of the procedure and my journey so far, because I didn't document it from right from the beginning because it has been very long-winded. It's been a very long time, and so I did have in my mind that I would share this story, but I did think that I would do it closer to the time when things start actually moving. And so we're at that stage now that I am actually on my liver shrinkage diet and I'm having surgery in less than three 4 weeks time. So I'm having surgery in just over 3 weeks time. And yeah, I am really close, and there's loads to tell you, and there's so many questions that you guys have asked me. So I'm just literally gonna go back from the beginning and tell you a little bit of backstory on how and why I'm having surgery with the NHS. So I actually have been offered weight loss surgery once before, which was like many years ago, probably about 10 years ago, because I've always struggled with my weight. It's always been an issue. You know, I've always tried to get to the bottom of, you know, what is it that, you know, is my trigger? Why am I gaining weight? obviously I eat the wrong things at times, but what is the backstory of it? Like, what is it psychology? Like, what is the psychology behind it with me? And obviously, going through years and years of like going on many different diets and stuff like that, as I've got to the age of nearly 40, I'm 40 this year, I realized that, I emotional eat. I stress eat, I emotional eat, and it's become like a bit of a habit. Not only that, I'm on a lot of medication, which doesn't help with my weight loss. It's very hard, like trying to lose weight, especially at this age with all of the illnesses that I have and the medication that I take. And obviously the emotional stress factor of it, it's just been like trying to beat down a brick wall, and it's just not coming down. And so going back 10 years ago, I was offered it, but at that time my life just wasn't the same as it is now. I Yes, I was overweight and I'd struggled my whole life with my weight, but I was at a stage in my life where I didn't have any underlying health issues that were as serious as what they are now. And I had nothing really traumatic. I mean, I'd had a bit of a traumatic upbringing from when I was young, but going into sort of adulthood, becoming a mum and a wife, I was at a stage where, everything was okay. I was managing everything well. There was no deaths in the family and so on. And I just thought, no, do you know what? This is the final time, and I'm actually going to try, and I'm going to try and lose weight. I'm going to try and do it for myself. And I took myself to Slimming World, and I managed to lose 10 stone. So just over 10 stone, I managed to lose. And I was the biggest loser. You get a title of the biggest loser. And after that, I said to myself, I would never get as big as I was before. But life happens, and during the end of me losing the 10 stone, pretty much towards the end, I was still at Slimming World. My dad passed away, which was really hard on me. I'm a massive daddy's girl, and if anybody knows, like losing a parent it's really traumatic. It's really, really bad. And I lost my dad, and then I continued to try and just, stay strong, go through the emotions that you go through with grief, and just continue as mum, to my children, and wife to my husband at the time, and just get on with life. And I was trying to do my best that I could do and keep the weight off. And then I noticed that the weight was starting to creep back on. And then 1.5 years after my dad passed away, my mum fell over and hit her head and passed away. And it broke me. It literally broke me into pieces. And at the same time, my marriage was in total breakdown. It was really bad. And my husband at the time left. And so I was left single mum on my own with two young boys who had lost her mum suddenly, and obviously lost her dad a year and a half before. And I went through a really rough few years, and I didn't think I was actually going to come out of it the other end. Yeah, it was traumatic, and I've spoken about this over here. And so, along came the emotional eating. I'm drinking a peppermint tea because I'll tell you a bit more about why I'm drinking a peppermint tea later on in the video. Um, but yeah, so yeah, it was really traumatic time in my life, and yeah, I was left alone with my children. I then become really unwell. I had already, like a few years before, was having issues with my knees, and going through um, hospital to hospital and seeing different doctors about my knees. But I started to get really unwell, and then along came the fibromyalgia, which I didn't know what that was, which was traumatic. It was the worst thing. And being told that I have this thing called fibromyalgia, and it's never going to go away. And this is my life now, and I have to learn to live with it. And I just thought my life is absolutely over. And I did emotionally a lot. Um, and so yeah, I literally was in a dark place, and I had to pull myself out of that. So I started creeping up, and my weight started, it started coming up. And fast forward to now, obviously, I've come out of that. I am in a better place mentally. I have done a lot of work on myself, in terms of, the mental aspect of it. And my illnesses are, they're up and down. I have flares, but I manage them, and I know my body now, and I've accepted my illnesses and accepted me for who I am and everything about me, and whatever I have to go through in life, like I've come to be at peace with it. And so, now I'm at a stage in my life where, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm a lot more better in my head. I'm headstrong, and I just want to be the healthiest that I can be. And if I can do something that's going to help me become that, then, you know, now is the time that I've agreed to have weight loss surgery. So in 2000 and can't remember when it was, but it was in towards the end of COVID. um the GP had seen me for some reason, and obviously, when you go to a GP, all they talk about is your weight, and he said he wanted to refer me to have weight loss surgery. Not only that, my surgeon who is dealing with me for my knees, so my knees, I have like a tracking problem with my knees, and having MRI scans on them, and having um x-rays and so on, blood tests, and every test I've had, it came back that my knees have no jelly on the inside. So normally when your bones are sitting on the other bone, there's like a jelly bit inside, comfortably inside, so that it gives you that comfort when you're moving your joints. With my knees, they're set a little bit too high, so they're higher than they should be, and the top bone is not actually sitting in the space where it should be. It's actually balancing on top of one of the bones, and in between the bone, there's absolutely no sort of jelly stuff that gives you that comfort um, when you're bending your elbows and your arms and knees and whatever. So it's called, I'll put it on the screen, but it's something male tracking. And because of this, I have to have a knee replacement on both of my knees. But my surgeon is not willing to touch me at this size. So he also wrote to my GP and advised that he would refer me to the weight loss clinic at the hospital for me to get weight loss surgery. So that was one of the reasons why the doctor wanted to refer me for weight loss surgery. Also, another reason that was along with that is I have a condition called idiopathic intracranial hypertension. I have to think about it. So it literally is a illness that basically brings fluid around your brain, and it affects your eyesight. For me, it affects my eyesight probably the most. I get headaches, severe headaches, but my eyesight goes blind, like I go blurry vision or go blind for, sometimes it could be for a few minutes, sometimes it could be all morning, sometimes it could be all day. And if I'm really tired, I lose the sight in my eyes, it just becomes very cloudy. And again, this illness my neurologist said that she thinks that if I was to lose a considerable amount of weight, she thinks that I would be able to completely eliminate this illness. And that she's seen that in some people. So this was another reason why the GP had said that he was going to refer me for weight loss surgery, because my neurologist wrote to my GP and said that she thinks that it would be, very beneficial for me to be referred, knowing my back history, knowing that I have tried to lose weight on several occasions. I've actually lost um, 10 stone and 9.5 stone at 2 points in my life. But then I'm unable to maintain it. So this is what the issue is at this point in my life, I'm actually finding it hard to actually lose weight. But the other times I have tried and I succeeded, but I just couldn't find a middle ground on how to maintain it. So, you know, with the doctors hearing, my backstory and seeing, like, my medical history and seeing my weight throughout the years, they really recommended that they think that having weight loss surgery would be best for me, and it would be beneficial, and it would help me be able to maintain a healthier weight, which will then in turn enable me to have surgery on my knees so I could have my knees replaced and have a better quality of life where I'll be able to walk a lot more without severe pain. I, will hopefully eliminate this issue that I have with my head, with the idiopathic intracranial hypertension. It basically is a condition that kind of mimics like a brain tumor. So the symptoms that you get with a brain tumor are very similar to the symptoms that I get. Um, and obviously, having fibromyalgia, you can be at any size and be in pain. And so, it doesn't help when, I am really heavy. I'm like in the 20 stones. So, being in pain and then having to carry around a body that's, 23 plus stone heavy, it will make a difference. And I used to get really upset when my family, especially like my brother, would say, you've probably got all of these health problems, or, you're probably in pain because you're too heavy. And it used to really annoy me because it was like they didn't understand that, my arthritis will never go away. So I have arthritis in my hands and my ankles and my feet. They're never going to go away. And being referred to the weight loss surgery, for weight loss surgery, and going to the hospital, they've said to me that, don't think that your illnesses are just going to go away just like that. However, they did say that some of my illnesses or medication I take, I will no longer need to take them after surgery. So that is a real big bonus. So, you know, um, you know, losing this weight is going to give me a better quality of life, but it's not going to take away all of my illnesses. It will, however, make me feel a bit better, a bit lighter, and hopefully help me live longer. Um, and so, yeah, so this is the backstory of how I, came to be referred to have weight loss surgery on the NHS. And what I'm, from speaking to other people that have been referred, you know, it's many people of a BMI, as I don't know what the BMI, you need to be over the BMI, but I know that you kind of need to be in the obese part of the weight chart, on which I am. I probably go. I don't know if I'm obese or in the mobily obese. I don't know how you say it, but yeah, a lot of the women that I, and men, because I've met a lot of people at the hospital, waiting in the waiting room and speaking to everybody else about how they come to have weight loss surgery, and people that have actually had it already, so I've got to speak to many different people, and I think that your GP are more likely to refer you if you have other illnesses that that is affected and can be affected by your weight. So, That's what I'm gathering. And so that's why I got referred for weight loss surgery on the NHS. Um, so yeah, so that's where we're at with how it came about. I will say that, like, when I had the weight loss surgery, not when I had the weight loss surgery, because I haven't had it yet. When I was referred for the weight loss surgery, the GP came back and said the hospital have come back to them and said that they are not willing to give me my first appointment until I've done a weight loss management course. Now, this is very different in every sort of postcode. So it's a bit of a postcode lottery. In some sense, that's what people say. But um, I had to do a 12-month weight loss management course. And at first I was just like, oh my God, I have to do like a 12-month management course. This is just going to take long and long and long. And I just want to be healthy. I just want to feel light. I just want this over and done with. But you know what? I'm so happy I did it because it has really helped me in terms of learning um, how to cope with food and my emotions. So, like, that is the biggest thing that I probably got out of it. I met some great people, and we've stayed in contact. So that's another another thing that was really nice, was being able to speak to other women, because it was just a women's group. It was all done virtually, but it was so great. We used to like have a good old natter on there, and I know that the guy our tutor man who was taking the courses, I know he loved our group. Our group was just the best. But yeah, we learnt so much about each other, and it was so enlightening to like hear other women that have been through or can relate to things that you have struggled with, sort of in your past and actually in your present now today. So yeah, it was really nice in sense of meeting other women in the same sort of boat as you. And yeah, so I think the biggest thing that I took away from the weight management course was definitely learning how to deal with my emotional eating and how to curve that. um, and you know s- simple little things, like putting simple little things into place, like no food in the bedroom, because my issue is either emotional eating or boredom eating in the evening. At daytime, I'm fine. I don't really bother with food. I'm doing this and doing that. As soon as it comes to the evening, I just want a snack, or if I feel some type of way, it's like a quick fix, and then you feel like crap after. So learning how to deal with that. And also obviously learning the nutrition value of things, and what things that you really should eat, and really things that you shouldn't stay away from. So we learnt so much, and we learnt things about into the next stage of having weight loss surgery. So we learned a little bit about how life will be when you have weight loss surgery, and um, you know and um, what to expect. So yeah, so it was really, really good. I'd done a 12-month management course, and you had to have like actively tried to lose weight within this 12 months as well. So it didn't have to be an extreme amount, but you just had to show that you were taking in the information, you were present at every group, and that you were actively trying to help bring your weight down. So at the end of that, your mentor would write to the GP and give their consent that that they are happy for you to be referred to the weight loss clinic at the hospital, and that you lost this amount of weight, and you understood, and just what they got from each person. They just did like a report, like you do a school report. They did like a report, and they sent it off to our GPs. So once my GP got that, then he went forth and referred me for weight loss surgery at London Homerton Hospital. And then eventually they contacted me it did take a while for them to contact me, and I was really like, oh my God, when are they ever going to contact me? When is anything going to happen? But eventually they did contact me, and I did get to go for my first appointment. And I think my first appointment was back in, I want to say like October, November or October. It was somewhere around my birthday. It might have been before then, actually, but I know I had an appointment on my birthday. It actually probably was before then, but I had a physio appointment on my birthday at Homerton Hospital. So yeah, so that's the procedure that I had to go through. And I know from speaking to women that have had the surgery already, and some people that are actually going through the process like I am, that some people didn't have to do the weight management course. So depending on the area and the hospital, it really depends um what they want. So some hospitals didn't require you to do the weight management course. Some actually required you to do it for 3 months. So there are some areas in the UK where they only done the course for 3 months. Um, and so, yeah, so it's all different. And obviously, if you pay privately, I don't think you would have to do it at all. I think for me, on the upside of me doing this as to going private, I don't think I would have been so ready, and have the knowledge and the tools that I have now going into surgery that I would if I did it privately. I don't know. I don't know how they support you, but I really know that the NHS really get you ready, and they actually make sure that you are ready, and they will not do anything if they do not feel that you are ready or there is an issue um, preventing you. So, you know, going going on, we obviously I went to my first appointment, and that was just to meet the surgeon and just speak a bit more about um my past, and why I want to go for weight loss surgery, and just give her a bit more of a story and just meet in person. um and then after that I had to have bloods, and then she said that I would need to have a camera put down my throat so they could check my tummy. Now, I don't think everybody has to have this. I think it just depends on each individual person, depending on what illness is or what if they have any problems. So it really depends on each individual person. I know that a few of the women that that I've met at the hospital, that I've seen on several times when going, a few of them had to have it and some of them didn't. So it really just depends on you. And it's very individual. So that was the next step for me. So after I had that initial first appointment, I had bloods done, and then I had to go back to the hospital and have a camera put down my throat. Now, if I'm honest, like, that was one of the most traumatic times, because they was like, it's, we can put you to sleep, but if we put you to sleep, you won't be able to drive for a certain amount of time after. You have to stay in hospital for much longer. If you stay awake, it's a 7-minute procedure, give or take. And you can go straight after, drive yourself home, and so on. And they said it's no longer than, it's a bit uncomfortable for 7 minutes. So I was like, yeah, I got this. I suffer with pain every day. Like, I am a soldier. That's why I call myself a warrior, because of, what I deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I still smile. Many people wouldn't. Yeah. So I just thought to myself, I can do this 7 minutes. So I took myself to the hospital. I went with my son, because he comes along, helps care if I need any help or whatever. And I, got in there, and they said, right, he has to leave and you come. And they put this thing in my mouth, and I don't want to scare anyone, but they put this shield thing in my mouth to open my mouth so that I could not at any point close my mouth. And they put me on the bed, and then they put some um I think it was some spray, which was some like numbing spray to numb like all down the back of my throat. And eventually, when they were ready to do it, the doctor just started like hosing this pipe. And when I tell you, like, I did not expect it to be as thick and long as it was. And oh my God, like my legs were going. And they said that a lot of the reasons why they do recommend that people go to sleep, because they've had so many people who have literally ripped it out because it's so uncomfortable. There's been people that have ripped it out, and then it can cause damage to your like organs and your body on the inside. And so, they warned me, like, no matter how uncomfortable it is, do not try and pull it out because you can damage. So, like, I had that in my head and I was just like, oh my God. And when it started going down, and, I felt like they were putting a hose pipe down my throat. I could literally feel it like going all the way down, and it went right down like into my tummy. I know you guys probably don't want to hear, because another lady that I have met, she said that she didn't find it that uncomfortable. So, everybody's different. But for me, I found it so traumatic. And I was like shaking my legs and making noise. And like, I couldn't really scream because obviously I had this thing down my throat. But I found it, and I would say I'm a pretty strong girl. But I found it really quite traumatic. And I come out and I was just like, never again. Never again. Like, I was like, I will never do that again. If I have to do that, they can put me to sleep. So yeah, that was pretty traumatic. But I was so happy that I got that part over and done with. Everything came back really good, nothing to worry about. So I was really happy about that. The only thing that did come back from my bloods that was that I had low iron. And so then I had to go back to my GP and get like a strong iron tablets to help build my iron levels up. And so I had to wait a little bit to try and get my iron levels up. So that was a few months waiting to try and get my iron levels up. I also had a couple appointments with the dietitian and the psychologist. So initially I had an appointment with the dietitian first, and she spoke to me and kind of told me what's going to happen like going forward and the steps of everything. And she also, one of the questions for me was, because I had known from, people that had done weight loss surgery, in the past, they said that you have to lose weight on when you have the weight loss surgery with the NHS, that you have to lose weight before, like you have to actively try and be losing weight. So they want to see a weight loss. So I asked her, like, do I need to lose a lot of weight before? And so what she said was, we have taken that rule away. So we see that it's so hard for people, obviously with weight issues, to lose weight. And so what we say is that when you get weighed on your first appointment, we want you to stay around that weight. So give or take a few pounds up or down. We know, you're women especially, and we have our time in a month, and sometimes it just moves up and down. So she said that she it's now that you kind of stay within where you are. And so I was happy to hear that, because obviously it's just been so hard. And so I was actively trying to be healthier, and keep my weight where it was. And then she did tell me that I would have an appointment with the psychiatrist, who would speak to me and see if I was mentally ready for this change in my life. And so, yeah, so, with the dietitian, she kind of went over a lot of the stuff that I'd already done with the weight management course. So, she was asking me questions like, what do you eat in a day? Like, do do you know what's healthy, what's not? And I was giving her all of my knowledge and the stuff that I do like to make and eat and stuff like that. And so she was really, really happy with how much I've learned in the past 12 months. And she said that she was going to have another appointment with me. I think it was about 2 months or 3 months later, and that would be the time when she would like sign me off. So every person that I saw had to sign me off before I could initially get the go okay for surgery. And so I had the appointment with her, and I waited for her to give me another appointment. And when she gave me another appointment a few months later, she was really happy, and she said, "I'm really happy with you." She said, "So I'm going to make the recommendation and sign you off and just say that, I'm happy for you to have weight loss surgery." So I was like, yes. So next was the psychiatrist who I had to speak to and see if I was like mentally okay. Where was I at in my life in terms of stress levels and stuff like that? And I kind of was at a really good place, and I've really grown as a person in terms of knowing my stresses, learning how to change them. Obviously, whatever you do in life, you're gonna have things that are gonna stress you, are gonna upset you. I have a chronic illness that gives me pain every day, that stresses me, but I work on how to maintain a healthier, happier mind headset. And I mean, not every day I'm happy. Some days, like but that's just life. So I explained to her like where I'm at in my life, what I've previously been through, where I'm at now, how I thought I would never come out of the big dark hole that I was in. When I lost my parents, I lost my mum, I lost my dad. I came out of like 11-year marriage and ended up being a single mum, and trying to raise two children with chronic illness, in severe pain, and going through grief. And she was really happy with my mindset and how I've overcome and where I am at today. So she was really, really happy. And I can't remember if she signed me off on my first or my second appointment with her, but she was happy, and she signed me off and said that she was happy for me and thinks that I'm mentally ready for the next stage and to have weight loss surgery. So I was really happy. She signed me off. And then finally I had to have appointment with the physio. And this this was more than one appointment actually, because he gave me things that I need to work on and like be able to move my body. And obviously he took into account that I suffer with severe pain in my knees, and I have a fibromyalgia, which is widespread body pain. And some days like my body just says no. The computer says no. So he understood, and obviously he's obviously worked with many other patients that have similar illnesses or the same. And so he gave me ways to be able to move my body more, and suggested swimming, and just suggested things for me to do to prepare myself for the coming months and having weight loss surgery. And then also after weight loss surgery, how to get myself fit and in best like shape mentally and physically after surgery. So I had that appointment with him, and then I had another appointment where he actually physically wanted to see what I could do. And so he got me walking up and down that hospital corridor. God knows how many times I had to walk up and down this corridor, as many times as I could in the space of, I don't know, I think it probably was about 2 minutes or so. And he was really happy. I really tried my best, because I'm so determined. No matter how much it hurt, I just really, really tried my best to do the best so that I could get, to the next stage of where I want to be and need to be. And he was really, really happy with me. And he spoke to my partner as well and asked my partner, like, what does he think about me having weight loss surgery? And, he wanted to see that I had a supportive network for when I come out of surgery, because that's so important to make sure that, you've got a support, from friends and family around you, and people that are going to, support you in your decision, whether they think that, you should or shouldn't do it, support you for what you think that you need to do for your best interest. So, he was really happy speaking to my partner, and, got a bit of an insight of, what he thinks about, he loves a meaty woman. Like, he'd tell you it himself. He loves a bit of a meaty woman, and he loves me just the way I am, inside and out. But he said to me that, what, if you need to do this for yourself, if you need to do this so we can live longer together and spend forever together, then do it, and I'll support you in it. So, so I'm just really grateful that I have that support network. And so, yeah, he was really, really happy. And, he signed me off as well. And I was like, yes. And that was the last thing that I needed, for all of that paperwork to be signed off by all these different places. I had another blood test. My bloods came back. That my iron levels weren't low anymore, and I was ready for my paperwork to go to the board of directors. So basically, twice a month, the hospital have like a meeting, a board meeting, and the patients that are being put forth for surgery or weight loss surgery, they get discussed with all of the members there that are, the dietitian, the physio, the surgeon, and so on. And they get discussed, and they, go around and say, this person, they've passed this part of it. I can see that they've, helped themselves in this way, or, their tests have all come back really, really good. And then, that's when they give you the go, okay, for you to have surgery, and then you get your date, or you then get to come into hospital. The surgeon speaks to you and tells you the risks of having surgery, and then he sends you on your way, or she sends you on your way, and then you wait for them to give you a call for your date for surgery. And some people, and other women that I met, their paperwork and everything's gone to the board meeting, and then it came back that they got refused, in the sense that right now they need to work on maybe something mentally, so they need to have more sessions with the psychiatrist, or they need to have more tests in terms of something to do with their body, because they want to make sure that you're in the best fit state for you to have the surgery. They will not okay you if there is something that they think needs to be done beforehand. So I know of some other women that psychologically they needed to do a little bit more work with the psychiatrist, and there was also another lady that had to do a bit more work, not do a bit more work, but had to have more tests, in terms of having things tested, just to make sure that she was in the best fit state for surgery. So I was so happy that mine got okayed, and I got the call that I am going to be having surgery, and I got my date. Now, after I got my surgery okay and got the date, I then received a questionnaire that I had to fill out, which was just basically a lot of stuff that they kind of already knew, but you kind of have to fill this out before having surgery. So that had to be done. And then what they said was that the nurse and the dietitian was going to be contacting me again, and I would have to do what was it called? Because it wasn't that long ago, but I had to have basically this appointment. It was a pre-op appointment with the dietitian and the nurse. And this was a virtual, so it was done on like Microsoft Teams. It was like a virtual appointment, and it wasn't just me in the appointment. There was other women that also had got the okay for surgery and that were, you know, nearly right at the stage of having surgery. um I've said so many times in this, and I was meant to be doing my skincare, and I've literally just spoken the whole way through without finishing off my skincare. But anyway, let's put some vitamin C on. So I joined the meeting for the appointment, shall I say, for the pre-op appointment, pre-op information, and this was basically talking to us about what's going to happen when we go into hospital, what we need to be doing to prepare ourselves before we go into hospital, things that we need to take with us, things that we need to have prepared after surgery, and also we spoke about, so that was a nurse that spoke to us about that, like to prepare ourselves for surgery and what we were going to need, and so on. And then we had a speak with the dietitian, who then spoke to us about the liver shrinkage diet. So I didn't think I was going to have to do this liver shrinkage diet, but apparently I have to. So yeah, there were three options of the liver shrinkage diet, but the third option, they crossed it out and said, we're not really offering, we're not really, what was the word? We're not promoting that anybody does the third option, because so many people get it wrong. And if you get it wrong, you can come to the hospital for the day of your surgery, be put under anaesthetic, and then when they open you up and see that your liver hasn't shrunk enough, they will have to close you back up, and you'll be woke up, and you will, be very disappointed, and it'll be very traumatic that you've not had it done, and you'd have to start again, in the sense that you'd have to go home, go go through the liver shrinkage diet again, get another date set in, and so on. So they was like, we recommend that nobody does that. So they didn't even really, it was there, but they didn't talk through it and really tell us much about it. So the two options that we did get given was the milk diet and a slim fast diet. So the slim fast diet was that we could have 5 bottles of pre-made slim fast, any flavour, any time of the day, but we were only allowed the pre-made bottles, and we were only allowed up to 5 of them a day. We could have tea and coffee throughout the day, but you had to use sweetener, so no sugars, no honey, no, nothing else other than a sweetener that has no sugars in it. And you are not allowed to put milk in it. So with the slim fast diet, you would initially have to have black tea and coffee. And I was just like, oh, I can't drink black tea and coffee. And so I was just a bit like, I don't think I want to do that diet. And I'd previously did a slim fast day because I wanted to try out, because I knew this was coming up. I knew that, something to do with slim fast and a milk diet, because, I'd spoken to other people, and, the nurse and someone had mentioned it, and they said that, once I get my date, that they would talk to us a lot more about it. So I'd previously, a couple of days before, tried a slim fast day, and I haven't drunk slim fast in a very long time. I mean, I've tried it years ago, and I thought, oh, I'll pick up some of the bottles. The slim fast is very thick, quite gunky tasting, and I mean, one of them is okay, but I don't know, just trying to get through 5 of them in a day, it just didn't appeal to me. And what also didn't appeal to me was the fact that I wasn't allowed to have milk in my tea and coffee. So the Slim Fast diet was 5 pre-made bottles of Slim Fast. You could have tea and coffee, but no milk, and you had to use sweetener if you wanted to sweeten it. So use a sweetener, and you are allowed 1 pot of sugar-free jelly a day, and also 1 cup of hot water with an OXO cube in it. So that, at first when they said that to me, I was like, that sounds so disgusting. But apparently having the OXO cube with the hot water helps you get the salts that you need in your body for the day. Also, you have to make sure that you're taking your vitamins. So you have to take um your A to Z vitamins every single day so that you're getting enough nutrients in your body. Because obviously, just drinking Slim Fast, you're not going to get everything that you need. So making sure that you're taking all of your vitamins. And yeah, so that was the Slim Fast diet. The milk diet is basically 4 pints. So the milk diet is basically 4 pints of semi-skimmed milk a day, so up to 4 pints. You can have tea and coffee, and you can substitute some of that 4 pints in your tea and coffee, which I was like, great. You again have to use sweetener in your tea and coffee. You are also allowed to have the 1 pot of sugar-free jelly a day, and you also need to have your 1 cup of hot water with an OXO cube in. So pretty much the same. The only thing that you're swapping out with the Slim Fast diet to the milk diet is that you're able to use some of your milk and put it into your tea and coffee, so you can have like white tea and coffee. So for me, I totally the sound of both of them is just not pleasant, but I opted for the milk diet because I wanted to have milk in my tea and coffee. And so yeah, so I am now at the stage where I am nearly 1 week down. So I'm on 1 week, I'm on day 5 of my liver shrinkage diet. And so far, it's going okay. I am strong. I am strong. I am strong. That's all I keep telling myself. I am strong. Jodie, the things that you've been through in your life, you are a warrior, and you can keep doing it and keep being the strongest that you want to be. So I keep telling myself I can do this. I will, however, say on day 3, I literally had a bit of a breakdown. Like I come to the evening, I literally was like, nobody talk to me. I'm hungry. I went to the kitchen. I will not lie. I looked into the fridge. I was looking at the food. I even made some rice for my kids, and I opened the thing and had a smell of it. And my son was literally nearly on the floor with laughter. Like, he was literally cracking up. And then I was like, stop laughing at me. It was, it's comical. Like, I have to laugh myself. But on day 5, here I am now, and I'm doing okay. I'm just trying to do as many things, um, obviously not too much tiring things that are going to make me feel unwell, because obviously, I have, my chronic illness, and I don't want to set myself into a flare. But I'm doing as much as I can to keep myself mentally sane, and not get really sad about not having nothing to eat, and just do things to keep myself busy. As long as I keep busy, I think that I will be okay. And I know I can do this, because I know I have gone through so many things in my life, and I know if I can do all what I've done, losing parents, and going through a very hard divorce, and just raising two almost teenagers. I can do this. I got this. And so yeah, so that is where I'm at, and that is so far my journey. I obviously have so much more that's going to be happening throughout the next few months, and I would love to take you guys like along with me, So I will make as many videos and share as much as I can, just for your information. And obviously, if you know, if you enjoy watching my videos, I hope that these will be something that you will find enjoyable and actually informative. And so yeah, so that is my journey so far. If you have any other questions about you know weight loss surgery or anything that I'm you know going through or have been through or I'm going to go through it, and if I can answer those or help you with that in any way, I will try to. So just leave your comment down in the description box, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you in my next video. I hope that this helped, and have a good day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Take care of yourself, and God bless to you all. Mwah. Bye guys.